some of you don't know Redemption Thursday. You're new to the show since I've moved over to Real Talk Radio 93.3 and Warchant TV. Like and subscribe if you're over there watching on Warchant TV. Hello, everybody. It's great to be with you. Yeah, there's the like and subscribe. This began many moons ago now, early, actually. I think I think I was still doing mornings. Yeah, I know I was way back when. And that is further and further in the rear view all the time. I wanted to gamble because I've always liked it. But, they told me at that time, you can't do that on the air, Jeff. You can't actually take bets. Because I was just willy-nilly taking bets, Tom.
Is that right? You legitimately, like, phone calls?
Yeah. They would call in and we'd take, and then it was sort of just a wink, wink, nod, understood that if I knew you, we were actually placing a real bet. But I was told that that's illegal and that I couldn't do it and that I was in violation of FCC rules. So at that point, we had to put the kibosh on that.
It's probably more than FCC rules, given that, there's also like a federal law.
At that time, too, gambling was really frowned upon. And I really would never concern myself with people's fragile sensibilities. I just figured we were consenting adults wagering. And so, but nonetheless, attitudes have changed significantly, thankfully. And, but we did find a way at that time to break through, which was that you could do so for charity as long as you were wagering, and what we chose was non-perishable food items. So if you're new, that's what this will be. And it's on the honor system. Frankly, it got so big and popular that we couldn't keep up with everything. So it was up to you to be honest. If you took a different side than me and you lost, to keep a running track. And I do the same. And basically somewhere maybe a quarter of the way through the year, halfway through the year, you donate your losses or your winnings. In my case, if I've lost, I'll donate whatever it is, those non-perishable food items. We keep a running tally to the charity of your choice. And there are so many worthy charities. And I would always encourage anybody who's doing that to research it. Make sure your charitable donations go where they say they're going to go and the right people get them. But it's easy to do. And a lot of people, one of my favorite things about Tallahassee, and has been for a very long time, is that if you ask people to help others in this community, they will. They'll answer that call. And that is true when we've held our bowling tournaments and golf tournaments and anything we've ever done in which we've asked others to come out and support people in the community who are less fortunate, or organizations for that matter, who could use the help. And so, what I always like is that we have these games. For example, this is a very limited Redemption Thursday, sort of a mini Redemption Thursday edition of the show, because we're still in the midst of preseason with the NFL, and the slate this week is very, very well. It's slim pickings, to be honest with you, in college football. There aren't a lot of games that you would want, and I'm discovering this now with College Sportsbook, Tom, the show I'm doing on YouTube.
Oh, where?
On YouTube, you can
it's called College Sportsbook.
Yeah, I'm doing a show there.
There it is.
We're previewing games, and some of the videos are already out. And this is the early stage of this network, and it's a lot of fun. And I think it's going to grow. I know it is, and we're going to get better at doing it. But one of the things that goes on with this is that early on, in order to establish the network, you have to pick games in a way that, frankly, I wouldn't as an actual bettor. And that is, just because a game is being played doesn't mean you got to bet it. You don't have to have a side. If you don't feel strongly about one, don't take one, but that's not the way the networks work. They're like, yeah, you're going to kind of have to pick a side on that Alabama-Miami game. You're going to kind of have to pick a side on the Georgia-Clemson game. And so you kind of get stuck in a situation, especially that far out when you're making videos of, all right, well, we got to pick a side. We got to pick a winner right here. We got to pick a number. And you're like, well, I kind of like to wait because both Clemson and Georgia in particular, is a little banged up right now. I would like to know who's going to start and who's not going to start at pivotal positions before I decide definitively via video, because gamblers are picky that way, Tom. They tend to wait till they know who's playing. It kind of matters.
Yeah, there's two ways to go. The one way is when the line comes out and you see value, and the second way is, hang on a minute, let me get that Wednesday report or that Thursday practice report so I know who's healthy and who's been banged up during the week of practice. One way or the other. Either you want the value on the very, very early end of the spectrum, or you want the knowledge to make the best decision possible late in the game week.
Yeah, and so anyhow, just keep that in mind. Just be careful, everybody. But as far as the charitable wagers go on Redemption Thursday, just have fun with it. That's really what it's intended to do. You'd like to have a winning record. I'd like to have a winning record so I could brag about it. But in truth, it's really just for charity, and we'll have a good time with it. It's whatever non-perishable food item that you'd like to choose. And I think we only have 3? I think we have 3 this week. I'm going oppo of what a lot of people think. A lot of people believe that Illinois is going to pull the upset, mild as it might be, over Nebraska. I don't think so. I think Nebraska -6 is the play. If you got it at 6 or 6.5, now it's up to 7. I've seen it 7.5 in some places. I would go, if you got it for under a touchdown, feel good with it and do that, or bet it down. But that's an area you're going to want to look in there. Listen.
Ooh, look at that fancy graphic.
Bam!
Hey now.
I love it.
It is.
Jeff takes, you take. I like me holding the bag of money from the ATM. And we want to thank our friends at Metro Deli of Tallahassee. Good old Metro Deli, man. I love that place. And they are sponsoring the Redemption Thursday wagers, and we appreciate that. It's really good.
Well, it used to be that people would say, well, I want Nebraska. It's like, no, Jeff's taking Nebraska. So that's why this year we just instituted the graphic.
You take.
That's his side. If you want the bet, you are on the you take side.
You're on the you take side. That's how you are. That's where you are. You're getting Illinois +6.5. And then we had to write in that we always take the Ravens in a preseason game because obviously Harbaugh cares deeply.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
There it is. First one of the Redemption Thursday season. That's what I like to hear. Woo!
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
Good times. And then same with the Lions and the Colts at the time that I jumped on it. I got the Lions +3 against the Colts.
You're betting a Lions preseason football game.
It's the kind of man I am. That's the kind of man
Lions preseason football game.
We have to have some some action on a Redemption Thursday.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
I don't feel that all the way down in my plums. That's the right side. We'll see what happens. It's a preseason game. Once the bums get out there, you just don't know. That's what ends up happening. How soon do the bums, it's all relative, they're world-class athletes, but relative to the roster and whether or not they're going to make it, they're on the back end. This is a tough go. So I don't know how many UPS drivers are going to be out there, and when they get their chance, that's
the bums lost.
Yeah, so that's just it. I have told you, by the way, if I didn't do this for a living and I was not able to teach, let's say for any reason, like I had to, I was impatient. I would want to be a UPS driver.
You've mentioned that before.
I have. I want the UPS driver. When I just said that,
you get swole being a UPS driver. There's a lot of lifting.
I just feel like people leave you alone. It's more, you got to interact when you drop off the packages, but people leave you alone.
Sure, but people are happy to see you too. Because, oh, it's here. Yeah. It's here.
Who doesn't love
Honey, guess what?
Delivery of mail of sorts. Even, it's weird to this
day.
My
new chef's hat is here.
Yeah. Well, Amazon did a lot for all of that, as much as I hesitate to praise Amazon, but I would tell you that Amazon has really created the sense of anticipation of which you speak.
Sure. I hope you invested in cardboard before Amazon really got going.
Because what I'll tell you is this, I will order something just offhandedly where I'm like, oh, that looks cool, or that's cute. My wife would like that, or Bryce he would love this, and I'll press it because I've got it. That's the evil part of it. I've got it. It's one thumb press, buddy. It's just ding. I don't have to fill anything out. Don't have to go to PayPal. It's all set up. It's just ding.
And they can't guarantee those 2-day shippings anymore.
They will when they build that big ass facility here, buddy.
Yeah, well.
That's what the hell's going to happen here.
Shipping in general has been delayed. Don't get mad at your driver. That's not their fault.
No.
It's not their fault whatsoever.
Speaking of delayed, man, everything, supply chain everywhere is a mess. I mentioned this before. I'm trying to buy a basketball goal. This is the weirdest thing. We'll get back to the football, and I'll update you on Florida State, which had kind of a nothing practice.
Supply chain is working on a Redemption Thursday for wagers, though.
Yeah,
we're good there.
Yeah, we are. Let me tell you something. It is so rare in the world when this happens. I'm trying to spend in the neighborhood. I just throw my business out there on this show. I'm trying to spend in the neighborhood of $2,000 for a professional hoop installation at my house. Okay.
Does it come with a refrigerator on the base of it?
No, but it's awesome. And it's got they do the cement on the side of your driveway. They make sure, and it's also,
you're doing one of those.
Oh, I'm not messing around. It's an NBA backboard. It's everything.
Is your driveway and front yard flat enough?
Yes.
That's really important.
No, the whole thing is awesome. Now it's still a driveway. We're not in a gym.
Sure. But growing up in Tampa, chances are you had a pretty flat surface.
Yeah, well, depending where St. Pete, you didn't where I was.
Oh, really?
I grew up, where I was, it a lot of slopes. But that said, doesn't matter. My driveway's flat.
Yeah.
And there's a perfect spot for it. And I have I wanted to get this rim for Bryce because he plays basketball all the time now. Went to Leonard Hamilton's basketball camp this year. And I love beating him. I love playing and beating him just to see the disappointment in his face and the frustration. Yeah.
Adrian Peterson, cool down here, all right?
No, it's basketball.
Yeah,
I love beating him in basketball because he fancies himself good enough to beat me, and he talks a lot of smack, which I'm proud of him for.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. But he still has never beaten me. And I know the day's coming, but he likes to blame everything under the sun. He'll tell me the rim is the problem, or he's always got an excuse. When I put that NBA rim in there, there's no excuse. It's like, this is as pure as it gets. Also, I just want a high quality rim, and I'm willing to invest in it. You can't get it.
So that sounds like a bit of a spite buy. You're buying this to spite him and say, oh, you've got no excuse now.
Yeah. No.
I'll throw down the extra $800 for this rim just so you can't complain about the imperfections of our basketball hoop.
What's funny about it, though, is so I went to a sporting goods place in town, multiple places in town, and said that I want this rim. This is what I want. You order it from them, and then they have, because I don't want to screw it up. If you spend that kind of money, you don't want to screw it up. They have a group that they're associated with, some sort of company that will come out and install it for you. I'm not doing that work. If I'm going to spend that much, you're coming out to do the work.
Right.
Yeah. So anyhow, they come out, they'll install it. I can't get the damn thing. It's ridiculous. I have tried to buy it for months, and they're like, yeah, no, you know what? You maybe get it by December. What are we doing here? Nobody's got them in stock. They're in the store. I want to say, I'll take that one right there. But that's not the way it works.
I'll pay full price. Not even the out-of-box price. I will pay the full price. Just give me that.
I'm really frustrated by this because I've been eagerly anticipating this opportunity. It's just not happening. All right, so I mentioned that Florida State kind of went through a nothing practice. It was a shortened practice. It's they're gearing up. We're getting down to it now, and I guess if anything, I am almost. I mentioned Christmas a moment ago. I'm that kid, man. All this nonsense, all this stuff that we're going to be doing between this time and that time does not interest me. It's install, and we're not allowed to watch all of that, first of all. You can see some, but...
You're not interested in the mock game on Sunday? The final of the scrimmages?
Are we allowed to attend said mock game?
You're allowed to mine for information. I'm sure you got somebody you can call or two.
Well, I'll mine for information still and try to get that out there, but I can't see it. We're not allowed to watch it. And as such, I knock on wood, we continue to stay healthy. That's what I'm interested in. And in addition to that, my big thing is that I'm just kind of holding my breath that everything plays out the way that it should. We don't have any more issues. Listen, Josh Griffiths leaving the team is not an issue per se. But people, I just want to keep hearing about the positive things that we've built up through camp is all I'm getting at. And so every day, when I get up, I think, okay, let's hope we hear something positive today about Mackenzie Milton. Let's hope we hear something positive today. Anywhere where there's competition, where it's going to matter. That's all I'm looking to hear.
Or nothing in the way of injuries, right?
Yeah, that's all it is. That's all it is. Yeah, I'm like, okay.
It's bubble tape time.
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
It is. I mean, I sit around worried about it now because I'd love for that game to be a coming out party of sorts. And again, I got a buddy who is pounding Notre Dame, given the 7, given 7.5, given, they just don't.
Because every day wakes up and then throws more in the pot, huh?
Yeah, well, and I gave you the rundown yesterday. I mean, Florida State, and this doesn't do anything but rile up the base, I guess, rile the base. But I will tell you something. There's not too many people. If you look out there and you find the sharps and you look at places that are completely objective and people who don't have a rooting interest beyond they want to win a wager, you can't find people picking Florida State. You have to look long and hard to find people picking Florida State. National writers, columnists, analysts, known bettors. You cannot find it. Nobody thinks Florida State is going to be in that football game against Notre Dame. I wish that mattered. I wish somehow like you could deliver that message to the team to let them know like people think so little of you. It's an automatic play on the other side right now. An automatic play.
You don't think that Norvell's delivering some kind of message like that next week? I wouldn't burn it right now, but you might use that next week.
I don't even know if I would want to go there if I were Mike, though, because those are things that are outside of your control and not really something that you should be paying attention to. You know, I would, for me, I don't know. I feel like I would bring it back home all the time. I would always be about what's in this locker room, what's in your heart, what are we? And I wouldn't worry about what everybody else is doing or how it relates. I mean, because again, there's a time and a place to maybe do that. I don't think the first game here is that. You want to put any more emphasis on this game? They're already going to be over the moon for this thing. I think controlling their emotions early and not over pursuing and not trying to do more than they're being asked to do on a given play in this first game, I already think that's going to be a big deal early to try to get them not to play the game, in this case, not to play the game Saturday night. You got to play the game Sunday, man. You know, you don't play the game Friday and don't play the game within the game of thinking about the result, of thinking about what just happened. You know, coaches love to preach that to players, but then oftentimes contradict themselves by their own reaction to mistakes. And it's one of my frustrations. Almost every coach at some point does this. It's hard not to because we are human and we do react as such. But most coaches and most sports psychologists will tell you to play the next play. You know, just play the next play. Worry about what you can control. So you make a mistake on defense and you give up a big play early. It can't be. This has been the speech lately. I mean, this is what I've been thinking about most. It can't be, here we go again. It can't be, I can't believe I just allowed that to happen. It can't be, you know, bitter disappointment that lasts more than the few seconds it takes you to see that guy cross the goal line because you overplayed it or you made a mistake and didn't play the ball or whatever it might be, right? It's got to be about the next thing. We've spent so much time wallowing in our mistakes and frustrations and doubts. And that game has to be, even in defeat, if it happens. Now, they could win it. But if it is to be a defeat, it has to be one in which we see resilience. Because I'm telling you at that point, people will stop debating and wondering about records, and instead they will only invest in that team and those guys in the hope that that fight will last through a season, because that's how you get better. That's how you get better. You play the next play, you play the next game, you worry about the things that are before you, not behind you.
Yeah, but you got to harness the chip on your shoulder as well. That's the one thing I'd say is, like, I hear what you're saying about not overhyping a moment and therefore living it before it happens. Understood. And not overplaying the hand if nobody believes in you, because if you lose, that could backfire. That could backfire in that locker room. But also, this team has to have a chip on its shoulder and an attitude of being the little guy. Florida State is not the little guy as a program in its history, especially the last 30, 40 years of its history.
Of course not.
But you almost have to play that card because that's all we have. We have to be the Wake Forest team that would give us a real tussle when we were good, or an NC State team that did beat us every once in a while when we were really good. You gotta be that team. You can't be acting like the big bad boys. You got to build back to it. And I think the best way to build back to it is to have a chip on your shoulder week in and week out and almost play defiantly.
Well, but see, I think you got to do that within a series, within a play. I don't think it's about what the national media is saying about you or what the odds makers are saying about you or where the money is or what the number is or any of that. It has got to be about you. It's got to be the resilience and anger and frustration and fight within you. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
The weather is unpredictable and can cause issues around your home. Weston Trawick provides commercial, residential, and industrial electrical wiring services, yearly inspections on fire alarms, portable generator sales, and so much more. With 24/7 emergency service and repair, Weston Trawick will be your calm in the storm. Give them a call at 514-0003. Weston Trawick, professional electrical services day or night. Visit online at westontrawick.com.
While other gun stores come and go, Red Hills Arms remains Tallahassee's go-to local gun store for all your firearms needs. At Red Hills Arms, they're right on target. Stop by today and get welcomed in like family.
Let's be honest, we all have way too much stuff. Maybe your storage closet is full, your garage is full, or the guest bedroom is a mess. Call Southeast Portable Buildings, 580-6400, or visit them online at southeastportablebuildings.com.
You don't see them. You don't even know they're there, but your body knows, and your lungs know. Your air ducts hide them. I'm talking about the viruses, mold, and bacteria that hide in your air duct system and make you miserable. Fact is, we're all spending more time indoors now than ever before, and your allergies, asthma, sinus congestion, headaches, and drowsiness can all be attributed to those little devils hiding in your home. But what can you do? Well, it's easy. You call E&B Heating and Air and ask about air purifiers and ionizers that promote healthier air and can kill up to 99% of the viruses, mold, and bacteria polluting your home. E&B is also offering spring specials on air duct cleanings for just $4.99 and an AC tune-up for $99. For a healthier home, call E&B Heating and Air today at 848-0187. That's 848-0187. Or just find them online at enbheatingandair.com. They sell the best, fix the rest, or it's free.
License number CAC 057604.
This is an insurance market alert from Barbara at Faircloth Insurance in Tallahassee. A few months ago, I asked you to contact your legislators to help stop the skyrocketing property insurance rates in Florida. Other states average 2 lawsuits per day on property insurance claims. Florida has 384 per day. The property owners of Florida are being taken advantage of, but it is not by the insurance companies. The companies are paying out 10 times the cost of a claim or more that would have been paid anyway. People are canvassing neighborhoods, knocking on doors, suggesting that the property owner may have some damage. The property owner innocently signs something that turns all control of any claim settlement to an attorney that becomes the person designated to get the claim check and who controls the disbursement of the claim payment. If we want these rates to go down, we must reach out to our legislators and let them know how unaffordable home insurance has become and that we want them to support reform that will fix the issues. This has been an insurance market alert from Barbara at Faircloth Insurance in Tallahassee.
Let me tell you what T-Spark stands for. It stands for strength, commitment, teamwork, and heart. We don't ever quit until we've got nothing left to give. Our team is unstoppable. Want a guaranteed win? Call T-Spark Enterprises for your next roofing or construction project. We conquer all peaks. TSparkConstruction.com. License number CCC 1331204.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
Sportsbook for that ass. Appreciative. Yeah, we got time. We'll get there. We'll get there. I'm speaking of which, there is news in the world of college football today. Tom, you might guess why I bring this up. Number 24, Utah is set to start quarterback Charlie Brewer. That's the transfer from Baylor when they opened the season against Weber State. He is the guy that I expected to win the starting quarterback job. That's a good thing. By the way, did you know that Utah had Cameron Rising, who was with Texas prior to that? You may remember that name. And I just remember the name Cameron Rising is exceptional. It's just, you, sir, have an incredible name.
I can see why you would be partial to that particular name.
I would also tell you that after his playing days, if he had a show called Cameron Rising and he was any good at all at broadcasting, it would be a really cool name for a show.
In that case, you would take Chad's investment and that's what you would invest in for that ass.
Cameron Rising.
Yeah, there you go.
I would. That's a great name, Cameron. But Cameron couldn't win the job because Charlie Brewer came over from Baylor, where he said, I got hit way too often last year, kids. I'm taking it to Utah. They got some big sun guns up front right there with two tights. We're going to run the football, play some good defense, and we're going to win the Pac-12 South. That's what we're going to do.
And we'll win that holy war. Bring it on.
Yeah.
You want a holy war? You got one.
Here you go. Let's go.
One.
Brewer is 6'1", 208 pounds. I'm indifferent about all of that, but they do run him a lot, so he's got to stay healthy and all that good stuff. They were picked second in the Pac-12 South, but a certain guy on College Sportsbook picked him to win it.
Oh, is that right?
At plus numbers. Get plus numbers. These are about value. Is Fat Bielema going to get it done in Illinois? What a game. You know how nervous.
What does getting it done in Illinois mean? Winning 5 games a year?
5 games, 6 games, sure. Right. I would tell you something. Champaign-Urbana would hold a parade if my man went 6-6. We're back, baby! So I got to tell you, I can't imagine there's a coach more nervous about their opener, because we're talking about how nervous we are about the game against Notre Dame just because we so desperately want them to play well.
That's it, though. We want them to play well. We're not defeatists, but we're realists. They could win. But at least play well. Do not be outclassed.
See, I'm feeling that right now. I'm feeling nerves about that right now. That is so rare for me. I'm normally pretty level-headed. It's 23 years behind a microphone talking about these games, the good, the bad, the ugly. We've had our super high highs and super low lows lately and everything in between. I've learned to handle the bitter disappointment along with the euphoria of victory and big moments.
A lot of valleys.
And I have to tell you, I for whatever reason, I'm really a little on edge about this game. I just want the hard work. Because I do like this coaching staff. I do. I like them. I think that they've had a cogent plan. I think that we've watched them execute that plan more often than not in terms of the way they set up practice, the way they go about teaching the game of football. When you look at the central theme and messaging of the coaches, it's always on point. They're all on the same page. Nobody goes rogue. They're all at once hard-nosed, but also willing to take a step back and kind of put their arm around guys at the right time. It's a nice balance there. They seem to have a nice balance. And preparation is never something that I'm overly concerned about. I think that they account for most of the things that can happen in a football game, and you just hope that all, rubs off on their players. And I think when you have something like that in place, you want them to have success sooner rather than later. But when you recognize, as we have so many times when we talk about just the kind of damage done of having 3 coaching staffs in a 4-year span, you know then that you're up against it, that it's going to be a while. And so the logical side of you takes over and says, it's probably going to be a little while. But when a season's about to start, nobody wants to hear all that it's going to be a little while nonsense. You're like, no. Let's skip a step or two and get there. So I'm nervous for them. I want them to play well. I really do, because if that were to happen, I think then you get that overall investment. I'd like to see Doak packed and excited again. I'd like to see people want to come to games again. Let's not forget that it's not just coming off this COVID season. It's not like they were selling that place out 2 years ago and 3 years ago. They were watching bad football teams go out there and suck on the regular, and people stopped coming. It wasn't like it was. I mean, we were kind of embarrassed by some attendance numbers the last few years. I don't count last year, but you know what I'm saying. I mean, they go out there and lay an egg or just get overwhelmed in this game. That's going to be a desolate place.
Yeah, it never got to Miami levels of anonymity in our stadium, but it got pretty low. And I if I had to guess, the shirt that you want to wear to that game then would say, acquit yourselves nicely. Is that what you're saying? It's not like beat Notre Dame. It's like, acquit yourselves nicely. Perform. Don't give up. Show some heart. Show some consistency.
I never want to see a shirt that says "Don't give up." I mean, that should be a given.
Unless it's "Don't give up the ship" for Army Navy game. Right.
Yeah, no, I mean, come on. There are certain standards of competition
that we've broken.
We have. Well, all teams have at varying points, but I mean, like, you're assuming if you've corrected the culture and you've begun to reshape the way that these gentlemen think about their teammates and their investment in football and the university and the coaching staff. I mean, have some respect for yourself, for goodness sakes. I mean, it's one thing to lose. It's another to just go through the motions and allow for somebody to do whatever they want. I mean, it's disappointing not to be able to dictate terms just yet, but you can fight. You can compete.
There's a shirt. Have some respect for yourself.
They got to wear that underneath the pads. Get up. Have some respect for yourself. Sweet Jesus.
Get up's on the front. Have some respect for yourself
there
on
it
the
is.
back.
There's your shirt.
That's a shirt.
Get up. Have some respect for yourself.
We can put that in the closet next to
the guy next to you.
Libations Fest shirt that we're going to get a week and a half from now. Those will be the 2 shirts for the season. So if somebody sees you with a shirt on that says "Get up," they know what it's going to say on the other side.
Yeah.
Have some respect for yourself.
I mean, they've put in a lot of work.
Oh, they have.
I can't fathom not wanting to see it play out to the end, like whatever that looks like, whether that's 6-6, 8-4, 5-7. I mean, play out this. You play it.
They might have something for him too, and I know that sounds a little bit aggressive and maybe overly optimistic.
Got a little something for you?
Well, I think so. More than just the 15 plays, right? More than just the first 15 plays, because usually they can script that even against some pretty good football teams and make them look silly, keep them off balance. But there's something I'm working on for Warchant.com that'll be up a little bit later in the week, in which I look at
well done.
2019, Mike Norvell going against Marcus Freeman, who's now the defensive coordinator at Notre Dame, and apparently going to be their next head coach, according to Brian Kelly. He told a docuseries, I believe, this week. But Cincinnati's defense in 2019, the defensive line specifically, it overmatched Memphis' offensive line. There was an absolute mismatch. If it was even numbers, there were no tricks. Cincinnati's D-line was better than Memphis' offensive line. But Mike doesn't settle for that. He works around it. He plays games with you. He gets you moving laterally. He gets you thinking, and then he gets you in conflict. And the next thing you know, he throws numbers at the problem, and he's got you flanked for big plays. So the good thing to know, and this is why I think they might have something for Notre Dame here and there, it's not for 60 minutes, but maybe 4 or 5 drives, is he's already seen this type of defense with its multiple fronts, and he understands that he's not going to bang his head against the wall if something's not working, a la Jimbo towards the end.
Yeah, but I think you're falling into the trap that we all fall into, which is that you're really hyper-focusing on the offense. I think this game can only be won if the defense is worlds better.
Well, that's true, but you've got to get to the point total you need somehow. It's not going to be on turnovers and short fields.
3-0. I understand that, but I'm saying that defense was such a disaster a year ago because they really couldn't teach it or coach it in the COVID year. And you saw a lot of defenses setting rather dubious records. I mean, LSU and Florida and other schools really struggled with this because they could not be physical. They couldn't get after it in practice. They could not hit and be as intense as you need to be to play defense at full speed leading up to the games. They really struggled with all that. And that might have been a big problem here. You also had guys that, you didn't get to have a spring. So there were a lot of issues there. I just need to see that thing not look anything like what we saw a year ago, because then you do have a chance. Then Mike's ingenuity on offense and, ways to overcome deficits comes into play. But if you're just a joke, if you've got guys running down the middle of the field, like, remember that Louisville game? Goodness.
Yes, I do.
I mean, there were so many moments where there's nobody on the screen. And I've got a sizable television.
I feel better about the defense being competent than I do the offense in terms of just, if you're talking about year-over-year improvement and things I worry about less, I think that defense is going to be around the ball. I've seen enough in practice to believe that they're going to be where they're supposed to be, which is more than half of the battle. And it's the half of the battle we haven't won in some time. The basics. Staying at home, staying in your lanes, taking on a block so somebody else can make a tackle. Taking on a blocker, I should say, so somebody else can make a tackle. Those types of things, I've seen that. Offensively, they just got to get a little creative. And I think they've got some chances to do so, but we'll see. All in good time, man. It's finally getting here. Rather than 3 months away, 95 days away, it's right here.
If you're watching us on YouTube TV, thank you. Please do us a favor. Remember to hit the thumbs up and subscribe to Warchant TV. Likes on our videos helps others find it. And hit the bell after subscribing to be notified anytime we go live or offer up more of our great content, all from warchant.com. Thanks for listening on 93.3 Real Talk Radio. Jeff Cameron Show returns in a moment.
Your local news now.
One man is in serious condition after he was found in a vehicle after being stabbed Wednesday afternoon on South Borough Street. The Tallahassee Police Department says the man was found just before 4:30 p.m. on Wednesday. No other information about the stabbing has been released at this time. Investigators ask anyone who may have witnessed the incident to call TPD at 850-891-4200. Capital Regional Medical Center removed a doctor from providing patient services after the hospital learned he was offering mass opt-out letters to Leon County parents for $50. Brian Warden was posting on Facebook promoting the medical opt-out interview screenings. In the post, he directly asks parents in Leon County to private message him if they needed a medical exemption letter for their child. Warden was doing the interviews under Dovefield Health LLC, his own business, not affiliated with any hospital or group. Warden specializes in emergency medicine. It says he was in residency at Thomas Jefferson University from 2018 to 2021. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update. Brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times this afternoon with a chance for scattered thunderstorms. High of 92, winds out of the east, 8 to 15 miles per hour. Chance for scattered thunderstorms again tonight. Lows around 74, partly cloudy skies. Mainly cloudy skies tomorrow. Scattered thunderstorms likely. Highs level off around 90. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 89.
This is Dr. James Ryan Finn with Finn Chiropractic, encouraging you to unmask the cause of your problem. People mask problems with medicine, even with stretching or massage. But if the cause of your problem is pressure on your nerve, you need to unmask that cause. That's what we do at Finn Chiropractic. So if you or a loved one are having neck pain, back pain, or headaches, come in, get the phenomenal health exam, and let us unmask the cause of your problem. Remember, the chiropractor loves you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
This somebody asked earlier about how it is we're losing players. Well, if it's the direct result of competition, then it's working. You know, I mean, I think now in an ideal world, kids who are perhaps struggling to earn playing time don't decide to opt out and hit the transfer portal. Boom, right on it. I was hoping you would be.
There it is.
But that's not what we see in the modern era of football. Folks that are struggling to get on the field or find a place on a depth chart that is to their liking. if it doesn't happen, then a lot of times they leave. Sometimes it's necessary. Sometimes I think you can be at a place where you realize I'm buried here on the depth chart and I'm not going to play. Now, again, everybody's got an opinion about that. I support kids being able to leave the same way that coaches just up and leave. But I would also say that, if you have the level of competition that we have at corner currently, the depth of talent that we have at corner currently, it's not surprising to hear that somebody would decide that they're going to opt out and head somewhere else. And then you have, I mentioned earlier in the show, Josh Griffiths. I just don't know that he was going to see a lot of playing time, probably not the kind of playing time he was hoping to see. Whenever I watch practice, he certainly gave effort, so I'm not going to say anything disparaging about him, but he probably recognized, I'm not going to break through here.
Well, I think one of the key names this camp would be Patrick Payton, and he's somebody that the coaches have brought up. This is not cracking the code of silence that we're supposed to abide by in the media. Patrick Payton's name has come up a few times over camp, most notably after the scrimmage this past weekend. So if you're looking at the two deep of edge rusher, you've got your two transfers in Jermaine Johnson, Keir Thomas. Marcus Cushie's name was the first one to come out of Coach Norvell's mouth.
I was surprised
after the
by that. I was surprised by that. I'll be pleasantly surprised, in fact, if he makes a lot of plays. He might. I just said I'll be pleasantly surprised.
Patrick Payton was the next one. So there are your four guys that potentially could be on your third and obvious situations, the guys that are out in the field. I think where Cushney might serve us well is if it's 3rd and 12.
Yeah.
Let's say we can get to that position, first of all. That's a win.
Yeah, pin your ears.
That's a win right there. But if Cushney is going against, I don't know, a guard, does his size or lack thereof? Does his size or lack thereof? And that's not based on an observation in camp. I'm just saying, remember what DeMarcus Walker did on 3rd and obvious.
Well, we're not going to compare those two.
Of course not. But there is something to be said about if you've got more quickness than rangy size, you might be in a better position on 3rd and obvious to line up inside against a guard or a center rather than a tackle, especially, the tackle caliber of Notre Dame.
I don't doubt that that is the hope. I mean, you bring guys in for a reason. You think that there's a role for them when you're trying to upgrade your roster and raise the floor again. That's what you do. You say to yourself, okay, well, this guy can do one thing really well. We have a need. If you're just talking about having a pass rusher, now Jermaine Johnson is a guy that can do both, I think. But when you were thinking about how ineffective we've been off the edges in obvious pass downs and never getting to quarterbacks, I mean, guys had field days. Average quarterbacks were made to look like elite level players in the ACC and elsewhere because they had all day. And that's a big part of why that secondary oftentimes looks so bad, because I think there's real talent in that secondary. And I've talked about that a lot. I think it's the strength of the team. I think it's one of the strengths of the team. But, of course, that can only be made possible if you do find a way to generate any kind of pressure, get a guy off his spot and make him throw out of rhythm, something along those lines, let alone garner a sack. Goodness gracious, that would be a celebratory moment indeed.
The thing I like about this defensive line versus last year is, first of all, they're going to be more consistent than last year's because they're going to give effort week in and week out. So that's a good thing. That's always a plus. But I like that the rush ends that have the ability to get to the passer. Certainly we believe Jermaine Johnson is one of those. And Keir Thomas has shown flashes of the ability to, burst upfield and turn the corner and get to the quarterback. These guys are big bodies too. That's the thing I like about them. It's not like a situation where who was it? Lorenzo Featherstone? Was that his name?
Goodness.
Remember him? It would always crash on the zone
like
read.
$190 coming straight down the line.
Even if he didn't crash, if he just ran right at him, that's good policy. That's a good idea. A younger Brian Burns, you could just run right at him. What the hell are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
These guys are big enough that if they can consistently get to the passer, well, now they're already a double threat because they can stop the run with their size and let the interior guys go to work as well. But I think this group could work very nicely as a four down lineman front because they're versatile. They're not like last year. Josh Kando is a big body, right? Is he going to get to the passer? No,
as we saw.
But
the answer is a resounding no.
Right. I think if you have somebody that's like that in terms of size, but can get to the passer, now you're dynamic and you don't have to commit a fifth body to the rush every single play. And wouldn't that be a luxury?
Yeah, you can play a more traditional form of football, and as opposed to the levels of desperation in which you're masking, hiding, trickery. You just play football and dictate terms a little bit, which we haven't been able to do in a long time. And I think there are a lot of matchups this year where it won't be possible to dictate terms. But those aren't the ones that you hyper-focus on. Those are the ones that you kind of find a way. You're curious to see how they scheme around it. But there are games where you might have an opportunity to do that maybe around 50% of the time, and you got to find a way to make plays when those moments happen. By the way, I realized I failed to make a point because I started down one path and I got so wrapped up in my own nerves regarding the Florida State Notre Dame game that I failed to make the other point that hey, this weekend doesn't have much, but it does have college football, and that's a reason to be excited in and of itself. But you also will see a very desperate Scott Frost in Nebraska team, and they are on the Redemption Thursday wagers. That's another reason that I was leaning. Can there be anybody in the country more nervous before the first game of the season than that guy right now? Because if you lose that game, your season is off the rails again. You can't go lose to Illinois and then expect that you're going to have any kind of a season in the Big Ten. You have to win that game.
The only answer I'd have for you is who's Michigan playing? Although maybe by now Harbaugh thinks there's no way they're firing me ever.
Well, they did alter his contract already to let him know, like, hey, man, this ain't getting it done. I do think he has, as we've seen, a very, very, very long leash, but I don't think you can roll out there and go 4-8 if you're Harbaugh and not suffer the consequences. It's interesting. I was thinking about how Nebraska has to have some semblance of hope after this year that things are moving in the right direction, especially since now they've invited trouble. And so if you can't just follow up another sorry season with another sorry season and bring the NCAA
if you're going to bring trouble, it better be for winning.
Yeah, that's
Hugh Freeze learned that lesson.
It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio.
Everyone has their own routine after a long day. For me, I like to take a walk with my dog, get some fresh air, maybe relax on the porch, and lay in my hammock in a nice shady spot. No matter what your routine is, you know the sound of those mosquitoes. It starts with then another, and then another. And before you know it, you're literally slapping yourself, running for safety inside. Paul's Termite and Pest Control has an inexpensive solution to this persistent problem. Paul's has a program that treats the grounds, flower beds, shrubs, and standing water, and it controls mosquitoes year-round, which means you can take back control of your yard and quit smacking yourself across the face. Enjoy your yard again, mosquito-free. Call Paul's Termite and Pest Control today for your free consultation for the elimination of termites or any other pest. Visit Paul's online at callpauls.com. That's callpauls.com.
Every now and then, you find a true hidden gem in a sea of ordinary, like Carrie's Nursery and Landscaping, a family-owned landscaping company on Meridian Road. It's more than a nursery. Full landscape designs, tree trimming and tree removal, sod, pavers and patios, drainage, land clearing, outdoor lighting, and water features. The list goes on and on. Shop local at Carrie's Nursery and Landscaping. You'll leave feeling blessed with an extended family you never knew you needed. Visit Carrie's Nursery and Landscaping off Meridian Road, just north of Ox Bottom.
Hey guys, it's Greg Tish. It's summertime, it's grilling time. But with a grill that just won't light, you're just going to end up with the summertime blues. Yeah, blues and barbecue go hand in hand, but if you get a custom outdoor kitchen built from Hearth and Patio, you'll feel like a rock star every time those flames kick on. They also sell a full line of incredible high-end grills like Fire Magic, Blaze, and Broil Master, all designed to deliver the ultimate in beauty, performance, and durability. Everything you need to elevate your grilling experience can be found at Hearth and Patio. In fact, anything related to fire can be found at Hearth and Patio. Fire pits, gas lighting, indoor and outdoor fireplaces, wood stoves, and even custom-built pizza ovens. Go see for yourself. Check out their services and products online at hearthpatiotallahassee.com. That's hearthpatiotallahassee.com. Or give them a call, 850-727-4282. That's 850-727-4282. At Hearth and Patio, they keep the home fires burning.
If you weren't the owner of Gordo's and all those wonderful restaurants, Eddie, what would you be doing?
You know, I think I'd want to be I don't know what I'd want to be, a boat captain or a cowboy.
Do you know how to use a lasso?
No.
You'd have to do that if you were a cowboy.
Yeah, but I've never even been on a horse. It's not my place to be on a horse.
I agree. And the horse thanks you. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
tweeted about it. He was talking about Shaheen Brown, and I was just mentioning the reason I bring all this up is there are some impact players, some of them younger players, some of them nice surprises, and others that have just been consistently raved about, even by their teammates. And Travis J talking about Shaheen Brown having the body type, loves to hit. He knew he'd, quote unquote, he knew he'd be a player when he got here because he played against him in high school. I'm telling you, that is exciting because he said specifically something that I alluded to. And we get all these questions all the time about the linebackers and you know, for good reason, because we have harped on that area and how it's a bit of a weakness still. Bit of a weakness is an understatement. It's been a weakness, period. And I really feel like that even though he's a safety and even though he is a freshman, he's over 200 pounds. And when you look at his build, I think he's a guy you can slide down to linebacker. And I've been talking about this, like he may have to do that. We may not have the guys that fill the role of being the duality of being able to hit you in the run game and cover you in the pass game. We seemingly have two separate guys for that, right? But maybe Shaheen Brown becomes that answer. He's 206 pounds already, and he can cover, and he will hit you.
Well, if you don't think they're looking in that direction, the coaching staff, then you're sorely mistaken, because yesterday Mike Norvell said Jadarius Green McKnight is somebody that they were looking at as a hybrid player who might come up to the second level rather than being in the third level. That's a player who redshirted last year. His body type is 5'11", about 205, 210. Yeah. Also one of those guys who, again, if it's 3rd and 8, there's no need to have two linebackers on the field with the way we are constructed currently. 3rd and 6, 3rd and 5, you could debate it. Who do you want to put out there based upon the opponent that we're looking at? But yeah, this coaching staff is exploring it. It may or may not be with Shaheen Brown. Maybe Shaheen Brown just plays safety. Who knows? But if Jadarius Green McKnight's name comes up after a practice as it did yesterday, yeah, they're exploring for any fits possible at the second level.
Well, it's important because they're identifying, obviously, guys that might be able to play dual roles, because at some point, you know, listen, it's not as if people didn't understand a year ago that we were lacking in that area. It's not like Notre Dame didn't play us a year ago and totally exploit both our defensive front, but our linebackers as well. They're going to go right at them again. They're going to say, have you fixed your problem? You know, I mean, a good offensive coordinator is not going to change what they're doing until you show that you can do something about it. And so I would imagine Notre Dame's going to come right out and do. Sometimes you just don't have to outthink the room. I mean, they'll go back and look at that tape, and yeah, some people have changed. Personnel has changed on both sides, but the concepts are the same. And they're going to say, have you figured that out? Figured out how to stop this? Are you man enough to come in here and stop that? I would ask that question. If I were them, I would ask that question early.
I guess I should go get the sounder from Street Fighter, the movie. Are you man enough to fight with me?
I mean, I'd want to know early, and I think they're going to get tested early, and I think they know that. I think they know that. They got to find some guys that can be rugged enough in the run game, but also still cover you, or else they're going to isolate that over and over again, and we're going to get beat on that, and that's going to grow really old really quick, because watching teams do the same thing over and over again and having no answers is no way to live, my friends.
But it's good to know that you've got multiple sources of physical play. Physical play at the secondary level. Kevin Noles, Travis J, Shaheen Brown, Jerrion Jones if he's healthy. These are all good things.
Coming up and hitting you. Hour number 2, fourth coming. Stay with.
WVFT, Gretna, Tallahassee.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. The Pentagon says several members of the U.S. military were killed in today's attack near the Kabul airport in Afghanistan. White House correspondent Greg Clugston with that report.
Pentagon spokesman John Kirby confirms that a number of U.S. service members were killed in the attack and that several others are being treated for wounds. He did not say what troops were involved, but a U.S. official says Marines were killed. There were also casualties among the Afghan people. President Biden spent much of the morning in the Situation Room monitoring developments with his national security team. Greg Clugston, the White House.
Meanwhile, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson says Britain hopes to continue evacuations after the end of the month.
We're coming now towards the end of this phase in any event, in the sense that we've already airlifted out of Afghanistan a huge number of people, more than it's the biggest operation of its kind in decades.
Johnson said about 15,000 people have left Kabul airport on Royal Air Force flights. President Biden's meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett at the White House, scheduled for earlier today, has been delayed due to the developments in Afghanistan. Also at townhall.com, 2 people killed, another injured this morning in a shooting near the courthouse in Kankakee, Illinois. Suspects in the shooting have been taken into custody. Details are still sketchy. Kankakee is about 60 miles south of Chicago. The Commerce Department reporting the U.S. economy grew at a 6.6% annual rate last quarter. That's slightly faster than previously estimated. And the number of Americans applying for unemployment benefits rose for the first time in 5 weeks. The Labor Department reports jobless claims edged up to 353,000 from 349,000 a week earlier. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Let's be boring and do a commercial about cash out refinances. It's Ryan, and our mortgage team will often have a listener say, I think I understand what a cash out refinance is, but can't that be bad for you sometimes? So let's hit on that. As with anything, it's certainly not the right move for everyone. If we don't have to, we don't want to add a bunch of years onto our loan or increase our monthly payment too much or pay more in the long run. But because home values have skyrocketed so far up the last few years, while rates have come so far down, we've seen many scenarios where listeners today can pull out a significant chunk of money from the new value in their home while lowering the years on the overall loan, while lowering their monthly payment and lowering how much they ultimately pay. The key is to just look at the whole picture and be honest with yourself about your situation. If you're looking for someone to show you your options, we are United Faith Mortgage.
United Faith Mortgage is a DBA of United Mortgage Corp. 25 Melville Park Road, Melville, New York. Licensed mortgage banker. For all licensing information, go to NMLSconsumeraccess.org. Corporate NMLS number 1330. Equal housing lender. Licensed in Alaska, Hawaii, Georgia, Massachusetts, North Dakota, South Dakota.
What's important when shopping at a gun store? Let's start with a friendly and knowledgeable staff. Then add top-notch service, great selection and pricing, and a personal shopping experience only found at a locally owned and operated business. At Red Hills Arms, they're right on target. While other gun stores come and go, Red Hills Arms remains Tallahassee's go-to local gun store for all your firearms needs. Stop by today and get welcomed in like family.
These recruiting updates are nothing but fluff.
Are you wasting your time again on free blogs and social media to get the scoop on FSU recruiting?
Yeah, it's all bait and switch. You're on Warchant.com. What's really going on with FSU recruiting?
Could be another top 5 class, but for the real scoop, you'll need to get your own Warchant subscription.
What's it cost?
Free. There's a 30-day trial offer. Just sign up and you'll get full access through signing day. And nobody has more accurate and timely information than Warchant.com.
You know I like free. Sign me up. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole source.
Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
In an ordinary week, just a limited schedule this week. But I'll tell you what, just to see it, just go ahead and pull that up for yourself and get excited about, what ends up happening, though. It's funny because I did this morning for bright and early. Tom, there's football being played Saturday. College football is being played at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday. The interminable wait of the offseason is basically officially over. It's not tomorrow. It is the next day. I mean, it's over.
I like that of your action, which is limited, on this particular Redemption Thursday wagering menu.
Mm-hmm.
You have the first game of the college football season that we care about.
I want to know where I stand, baby. Right here, right now. Kickoff happens for more than just the players, buddy. It's where do we stand? Are we 1-0? Are we chasing? Are we chasing in week 1? Is that what we're doing already? I will tell you, if I were to dip my toes in the water after a inauspicious start in Memorial Stadium, Champaign, Illinois.
That must be the only Memorial Stadium in the country.
You would think there'd be more, Tom, but you're right. There just isn't any. Here comes the list of Memorial Stadiums from people who think we're being serious. So if it gets off to a rocky start, if you're tuned in on Saturday at 1 o'clock and the Cornhuskers are still just clueless and Fat Bielema has the Illini rolling, you could venture a little number or two on Fresno State with UConn visiting. It is slated to be in Bulldog Stadium, Fresno, California, Tom. Over 100 degrees at kickoff.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that Bulldog Memorial Stadium?
The famed Bulldog Stadium,
Okay.
not Memorial.
Not Bulldog Memorial. Okay.
Do have a game in the Rose Bowl. San Gabriel Mountains in the background in all their glory. Hawaii and UCLA at 3:30. And then, yeah, you really have to love football. I'm not going to lie to you. You got to love football if you're saying to yourself, hey, I'll tell you what, Johnny, why don't you throw on that UTEP New Mexico State game? They're getting ready to kick off, don't you know? Aggie Memorial Stadium.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
In Las Cruces. I like saying that. UTEP at New Mexico State. You may hear somebody say, that sounds like something I'd like to do. Tickets are going for as low as $10. Southern Utah and San Jose State is the final game of the night in the famed CEFCU Stadium. That is the actual name of the stadium.
CEFUC?
No, CEFCU.
Oh, CEFCU Memorial.
CU.
Yeah, Memorial.
No.
We'll see you at the Memorial.
Hey, so by the way, if you think to yourself, okay, well, I got to admit, that's all well and good, but I'm going to be antsy until we get to the official week 1 slate of games. No, don't do that to yourself. Do not. On this Redemption Thursday, the first of the year, I can tell you that not only do games begin on Saturday, there are games. In fact, there's a game on Wednesday. They're not screwing around.
Of next week.
Wednesday. Well, yes, today's Thursday. It would be tough.
Yeah, I was going to say.
There's a game next Wednesday, not one that you're
we missed
anxious
one.
to see. What? What the hell? Get it together, Cameron. You didn't tell us.
Wake and Liberty. Who
there
knew?
was a game on? Well, Wake and Liberty would be a hell of a game. You'd watch that game. UAB and Jacksonville State is the. You want to scout an opponent?
All right.
But not even kind of half kid. And then there is a giant slate of games on that Thursday. So 1 week from today, there is a whole bunch of games on a Thursday night, including there's soon to be Pac-12 South victors, Utah, on the slate on a Thursday night. But look through all these. I'm just going to hint at something. I'm going to have a little fun with you guys. For as diluted as this week's Redemption Thursday slate is, in which I'm, forcing the action a little bit, although a real play for me is Nebraska over Illinois. I can tell you that I like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I got 6 games, maybe seven on that Thursday.
Just that Thursday.
Just that Thursday.
Oh my goodness.
And this was not, hey, I'm caught up in the moment. I've been swept away. This was preseason, kind of looking ahead. What are my numbers? What am I looking at here? Is there a trend here? Is this team overvalued? And I went through and I had 7. I didn't even realize that many of them were on a Thursday. That's crazy.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
Now, you're going to confuse people.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
people are going to think that perhaps I just made an important announcement regarding Florida State Notre Dame. I will make an announcement regarding Florida State Notre Dame. You guys, we're going to be seeing a lot of each other. I hope so anyhow. As Friday night before the Notre Dame game, Florida State Notre Dame, Friday night I'll be at Horizons Bar and Grill with the guys from Seminole Headlines. I think we're rolling up over there around 5:30. We'll get off of work.
And that's correct.
Yeah.
Sounds like the patio is open for business.
Patio is open for business. There will be libations. There will be good food. There will be revelry. There will be fun.
We'll get down to business.
Mm-hmm. And then on Saturday, we get it on. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, as it is the 10th annual Libations Friday / in this case, Saturday Fest, as we get an opportunity to have a good time.
Oh, look at that graphic.
Yeah, well, it's a good-looking graphic, huh? Thanks to Metro Deli, thanks to the CP, thanks to Real Talk Radio 93.3, thanks to Garnet and Gold and Warchant, and thanks to all of you. We've got a raffle drawing at halftime of the Miami-Alabama game. We'll have free T-shirts and koozies to the first 200 in attendance. It's Saturday, September the 4th, beginning at 2 p.m. at Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachia Parkway. We hope to see you out there. Cheers to everybody, and that's going to be a lot of fun. That's a rather robust slate too, by the way.
Oh yeah, that Saturday slate's going to be awesome, and it should be noted once again that the raffle will be held at halftime of the Alabama-Miami game, featuring the grand prize of 2 50-yard line seats, a pair of seats, 50-yard line for Florida State Notre Dame.
Through big time, huh?
Yes, they did.
Hey, so I don't know how it gets lost, but it shouldn't, because again, as we're just kind of reminding ourselves now and going through and stamping the weekends and days to come, there are a lot of really good games. And I say that because we kind of just greatly overlooked the fact that we'll be rolling into Corner Pocket, I don't know, early third quarter of Penn State, Wisconsin.
Maybe not. Maybe some people might be there for kickoff of Penn State, Wisconsin, and the event just happens to start a couple hours later. I don't know.
Maybe not.
It could be.
I love that you keep. Maybe not, Jeff. Maybe not. We've got a top 20 matchup at the exact same time that Alabama and Miami will be facing off next weekend. Number 1 versus number 14. And in a game that it's going to have to occupy one of those televisions, I tell you that, because I may have a little something going here with Indiana and Iowa.
Oh, Indiana, Iowa.
That's number 17 versus number 18 in Kinnick Stadium, and Indiana is a extremely overvalued team.
Well, it's a good thing that there are televisions throughout, including a Vegas wall featuring 8 60-inch flat screens. They upped it to 60-inch flat screens on the Vegas wall this year.
Have you informed your wife that
my wife,
Tejas, has a top 25 matchup on their hands in week 1?
And are they the top 25 team or no?
They both are.
Oh, okay.
Louisiana.
Oh, the Raging Cajuns.
Number 23 in the country.
Yes. Continuing
rolling into DKR, Texas Memorial Stadium.
Yes. I know that one. I've been to that Memorial Stadium. It was almost my memorial, given how they pack people in there like sardines in the upper deck. You're going to die of lack of oxygen.
Texas is ranked 21.
Yeah, this could be another in the long line of like the Maryland losses. We're like, oh, look at that, another opening week, and Texas gets.
I was in Atlanta and I texted you because I had Maryland, and I remember.
Yeah,
I
was at your brother's house. We were doing a check-in sound check for pregame stuff,
and I was like, look at Maryland! All right, way to go, Terps! Should note here that, of course, the crescendo and the game that I'm most looking forward to, not named Florida State Notre Dame, is, in fact, the same one everybody should be excited to settle in for, 7:30 on ABC. That would be Georgia and Clemson, a top 5 matchup, and a game that I think is kind of difficult to get a handle on. It really is, because I mentioned it yesterday on the show, the strength versus strength in one of the matchups. Georgia's offensive line, you got to really check in to find out how healthy they are. Little preview for you. College Sportsbook, I'll be hosting a preview of that matchup soon, and I'll tweet it out and retweet it when College Sportsbook does it as well. But we'll have guests on, analysts on, who cover boots on the ground, Clemson and Georgia, and we'll get some insights as to their relative health. It's going to be important because as it stands right now, you've got both sides with a few, I don't want to say major injuries, but problems. Some guys might not play, and you're a little worried about it because in a matchup of this magnitude where the two teams are pretty even, not having a starting right guard or having a corner out or a linebacker miss or something like that could absolutely be pivotal.
You talk about a talking point for either one of these teams if they were to win this game for the College Football Playoff Committee selection show down the line.
Get out of jail free card?
Absolutely it is. Yes, it is. This game is a freebie considering strength of record, schedule, all that stuff. And in Georgia's case specifically, I think it's huge for Georgia because let's say they get to the SEC title game, but they don't win the SEC championship, but they've beaten Clemson.
But they've beaten Clemson, who went on to dominate the ACC.
Yeah,
I would think so. Georgia gets saddled with the, we hear this year in and year out about Georgia and they don't punch their ticket. And I mean, in fairness, they've had a couple of brutal losses and extremely, you talk about disappointing to lose in overtime in the national championship game where a guy pulls his starting quarterback mid-game because you're so dominating, only to have that be the move that leads to your demise as Tua comes in and has Alabama win that game against Georgia. And then, of course, we always go back to the one that had they won in the SEC championship game, they would have gone on to win against Notre Dame. We all knew that was a de facto national championship game, but they lost in heartbreaking fashion to Alabama.
That's one of the best games I've seen in my life, just because it was, for the faint of heart could not play in that game. It was all about between the tackles. They're going to run it right down your throat, and both teams did for 60 minutes. It was physical. Sometimes those games, you say, oh, God, these defenses are awful. No, it wasn't. It was just good offense being more physical than pretty good defense.
Well, the weird part of the Clemson-Georgia game this year is, okay, so a lot of people will point to Georgia's offensive line as being, if not the best, one of the 2 or 3 best offensive lines in the country. You will make a strong case. You can make a very strong case, as we all know, for Clemson's defensive line being the best in the country. And anytime you get a matchup where it's that kind of strength on strength, if you love football and you love wars in the trenches and you've got an elite unit on the defensive side going against an elite unit on the offensive side, you say, okay, let's get down and dirty in the muck. The problem is when you flip it and you look at Clemson's offensive line, in regards to championship level teams, it's a fairly pedestrian offensive line going against a very good Georgia defensive line. But Florida didn't care whatsoever last year that they couldn't run the ball against Georgia. They just threw it every down. And we do know from the advanced metrics that more and more, it's more efficient to throw the football if you're adept at it. If you're good at doing so, you can forsake the run. The old adage that you got to run to win games and you got to establish that kind of physicality in order to set up the pass, that's not true anymore. If you can throw it 45 times a game and throw it efficiently, like you've got a bevy of weapons and you can keep your quarterback upright, then you can win that way. And teams did that to Georgia. They threw the ball knowing they couldn't run on them.
I think if there's a zone read element to it as well, I think that's important.
In college, you really get that, yeah.
Yeah, because you can get the lineman downfield. If it was, enforced like the NFL does it,
yes.
If it was a different...
As it should be, by the way.
As Jimbo would say.
If it was a different...
Yeah, then I don't know that you can pull it off. But you can, the way college is constructed right now.
Anybody got debt?
If you were to rank the trenches in that game, Clemson offensive, defensive line, Georgia offensive and defensive
line. Which is the best of the units?
Yeah, so you go 1 through 4. So Clemson's O-line is number 4, right? They're the worst of the 4 groups.
Mm-hmm.
Is one of Georgia's lines better than Clemson's defensive line? Or would you rank Clemson number 1 on the D-line?
I would rank Clemson's defensive line number 1.
Okay.
And then I would rank Georgia's offensive line number 2.
Okay.
I think that's how that would go. It's going to be an incredible
But it's
battle.
a precipitous drop-off from number 3 to number 4.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're looking for an early edge, that would be the way to lean.
Yeah, it's hard, though. Because, again, you mentioned it yesterday on the show. DJ's played in a big game before for Clemson and shown up and shown out. And so JT Daniels is going to have to show me now that, all right.
He has, but then also remember how the season ended for Clemson and Brent Venables when Ohio State was basically saying, well, if we just huddle and we get to the line and go, they don't have time to adjust.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps their secret is that if you hang out at the line of scrimmage for a few seconds and set up your play and get your signals in, then Brent has time to react, get in the signal to his linebackers, and they're in better position. I would think that's the first thing Georgia's going to do offensively is mimic what Ohio State did to see if Brent is a one-trick pony, and maybe they discovered a bit of a weakness.
It's funny when you get to that level, when you're talking about talent everywhere, when you've got NFL talent littered throughout your offense and your defense. you find these slight coaching adjustments where the fan bases can either see their guys shine in a way that will allow for them to make mistakes 5 years into the future and be forgiven. And other times they get exposed for the first time because they are not the one with overwhelming talent this time around, and they get outshined. And that might have been the first time that Venables really got, I mean, that adjustment from Ryan, that was doing some things.
Yes, the reason that particular adjustment was one that I took to heart is because the players at the end of the game were laughing about it.
Oh,
They're
they
like,
knew it.
we knew it.
We
got
this.
You huddle up, you get to the line, you run your play. They don't have time. I was like, well, how about that?
It was,
It wasn't an analyst post fact pointing to it. It was the players themselves saying that was our game plan. And guess what? We beat their ass.
Yeah, no, they're really well coached. An oddity, by the way, I mentioned the Rose Bowl earlier. In that first week, late night, man, have some fun with LSU and UCLA. I have a feeling that's going to be a weird and funny game. I think we're going to be talking about it into the second half, believe it or not. I do. I think 2 fingers to my eyes, too bad to you, Ed Orgeron. We'll see. They may just have too many dudes.
Yeah. It could be that the Uber driver just got lucky that year.
But boy, did he
talking about Ed.
I was going to say, boy, did he ever pick a good year. This smart aleck kid gets in his cab, just ripping his town, ripping his university.
No.
Ripping his...
Not the town. I love Baton Rouge, man. I love Baton Rouge. That was great. But yes, little did I know that they would have a generational offensive mind and one of the great comeback stories in college football history.
Yeah. Record-setting, in fact. Yeah.
For one season.
That guy's driving around somewhere going, I should tell you about the time this kid got in my car, basically spit in my face. I've never been able to locate him. I wanted to ask him in no uncertain terms, how do you like us now?
I'd say good for you. Good for you.
It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV.
Applications, onboarding, payroll, termination. Business owners and managers, these are the processes that take away too much time from what you do best. But what if there was a locally owned, responsive solution that would charge you a fraction of the big national payroll companies? Sound too good to be true? It's not. North Florida Payroll Services is Tallahassee owned for nearly 15 years. And in that time, their prices have never changed. The reason North Florida Payroll Services can do that? Exceptional customer service that constantly evolves with the latest technology. From application to termination, for turnkey service for your payroll and HR services, trust a Tallahassee expert and save yourself time and money. North Florida Payroll Services. Online at northfloridapayroll.com.
Hey Tallahassee, this is Sarah with Seminole Auto Glass. There's so much more to auto glass than most people know. It's part of the car's structural integrity and one of the few things keeping you in the car in the event of a collision, which is why it's so important who you use. The big insurance company is going to gripe and complain anyway. Don't let them tell you where to go. Go with who you know. Seminole Auto Glass has over 25 years experience. We use the highest quality products from start to finish because we know the importance of what we do. Experience the Seminole difference. We are more than just a glass company. We are your local auto glass experts. Better call Seminole.
Have you ever finished a painting project at your home or business and thought to yourself, wow, that was fun. I really like how sore my arms and hands are. And those sloppy edges and corners, I'll get used to it. Not a chance. So before you get all your brushes and rollers and buckets and blankets, contact B&B Painting of Tallahassee. Interior painting, exterior, commercial, whatever you need painted, B&B Painting of Tallahassee is your first choice. Get a fast, friendly, and free quote today with a quick visit to bnbpaintingtallahassee.com. That's B&B Painting Tallahassee.com.
Every now and then, you find a true hidden gem in a sea of ordinary, like Carrie's Nursery and Landscaping, a family-owned landscaping company on Meridian Road. It's more than a nursery. Full landscape designs, tree trimming and tree removal, sod, pavers and patios, drainage, land clearing, outdoor lighting, and water features. The list goes on and on. Shop local at Carrie's Nursery and Landscaping. You'll leave feeling blessed with an extended family you never knew you needed. Visit Carrie's Nursery and Landscaping off Meridian Road, just north of Ox Bottom.
Is your business interested in exploring safe, secure, remote access capabilities for your employees? Not sure whether to go with a Mac or with a Windows system? Call the folks at Mac & More Systems, and they can give you the guidance to make the best decision for your needs. Visit macandmoresystems.com today.
Barry knows cool. He's keeping you comfortable. Barry knows cool. You can put him come to the test.
Your home has been a place of great comfort. We can help you keep it that way. Barno Heating and Air is helping you get ready for summer with $1,500 off select new units, 0% financing for qualified buyers, plus worry-free maintenance plans. Learn more or schedule online at BarnoAC.com. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Barno Heating and Air today. For license CAC 1816186.
Crawfordville Auto and Tire. Crawfordville Auto and Tire. Oh, hey there. I was just singing the praises of Crawfordville Auto and Tire. They do just about everything. Complete engine rebuilds, brakes, shocks, tires, oil change, you name it, they do it. And they offer a 12-month, 12,000-mile warranty on all parts and labor. Most of the time, they can service your car the same day and offer towing to help you get to the shop. Now that's something to sing about. Open weekdays from 7:30 in the morning until 6 at night. Crawfordville Auto Repair and Tires.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
Make mention of our partners at T-Spark Enterprises Roofing and Construction. Truly is. Early this morning, I was out. My day was going to be very busy today. It was such that obviously was gearing to this moment. But as soon as I leave here, I'm off to Pensacola with Corey Clark, also of Warchant.com, and we're going to have a good time over in Pensacola and meet up with the Seminole Club there, and it should be a lot of fun. But obviously that means anything post-work is not possible. So I wanted to get a bunch of things done. And one of those things, not to toot my own horn, was to go on a run and listen to something I've been meaning to listen to. That makes runs bearable, by the way. I might add, if I can't get to OTF and I've got to do something in the neighborhood, I just put the headphones on and listen to some, especially with college football. There's a million college football podcasts. You're trying to catch up on everything, especially in areas where you're like, I don't live anywhere near the Big Ten country. What does Iowa have coming back this year? Let's just go over there to that, and you can find it.
I know I like a side on that, but should I?
Yeah, let me double check. Let's be thorough.
Or am I picking helmets here?
Yeah, so I did. Sometimes you just base it on reputation, but then you realize, oh, wow, they're replacing 9 starters on defense. I didn't realize that, So I was trying to garner information. It was early, and I'm running down the road in my neighborhood, and this truck pulls up on me, and I'm getting nervous. I'm like, what's this all about? The guy's slowing down. What are we doing here? He's off to my right side. He pulls up, and he goes, hey, buddy. Hey. I'm like, oh, man, what's going on here? Then I thought maybe he just needed directions. Seemed like a friendly fellow, older gentleman. And I stopped, and I took out my earbuds because I didn't know what the hell he was asking. He goes, I like your shirt. And then it hit me. I didn't even realize I had my T-Spark shirt on. And I said, oh, thanks. Appreciate that. And he goes, I work for T-Spark. And I was like, oh, well, in that case, how are you? And then we had a nice, cordial conversation. And I told him that my roof was on there and that it's still kicking ass all these years later. And, I was one of the first.
So when he pulled by, did it have a T-Spark logo on the truck, or was it
a big one?
Okay. Yeah. Well, you work for him.
Do you?
Yeah.
No, he did.
Yeah.
And we had a nice conversation. And he was telling me that he was in the neighborhood because somebody had requested that they come out and get an estimate and all that. And he was on his way over there. He wanted to know, so, where do you live? And I was right over there. And I explained, and he's like, still happy with your roof? I'm like, yes, I am. And he goes, I'll tell T-Spark that we had another satisfied customer. I was like, you tell him Jeff said hello.
And now you're telling more people because you've got the bully pulpit here to tell people.
Yeah, but that actually happened, and I thought it was really cool. I enjoyed that. So,
well, it's peace of mind, man. There's stuff that we don't know about, and for me, I'm a first-time home buyer, and I don't know anything about anything when it comes to that. I ask friends.
Yeah,
and luckily, T-Spark's a friend from way back at the other place of employment, so he came out, gave me a personal consult, and I'm on a plan to make sure that the roof is okay. Any leaks, I call him, but there aren't as of yet. I'm sure there will be, but when it happens, I just call T-Spark. Go to tsparkconstruction.com for more information.
I'm just going to let you take it over.
There it is.
I don't have to go down that road, even though
I've heard that jingle, man. You hear that jingle long enough, then you know.
Yeah,
you don't even need to read anything.
You do. So there it was, and it was a nice little interaction, and it reminded me. Jonathan pointed out, by the way, yesterday on the show, we were having a conversation, and I said that at one point, and we have a mutual friend, Tim Linnefelt.
We do indeed.
He chastised me via text yesterday.
He doesn't chastise anybody. That's not his style.
He chastised me via text yesterday, but I fired back and called him, basically.
Something you can repeat?
Yeah. I can't.
There was a self-censor kicking in. I can see that. I think
I told him that he needed to settle down. But the thing was, he was saying that my take about the Noles at some point, now I'm not talking about a permanent change, that at some point I'd like to see Florida State wear those white helmets that we've seen somebody design. I don't know who did it. I would give them credit. But the one that I've seen looks cool as hell. And it's got it incorporates the kind of garnet spear.
Right.
Yeah. And then it has that visor and everything.
Yeah, it's the new take. Because remember when those mannequins were there way back in the Jimbo days, and they used to wheel those mannequins around like we're at a Sears or a Macy's or something, and they had the all black uniforms and the all white uniforms.
Mm-hmm.
This is an updated version of that.
Yeah, that's all it was.
All the recruits are putting that helmet on.
Every time I see it, I think it looks nice. I do. I don't want to make a permanent change to the best helmet in all of sports, but I'm not so married to the best helmet in all of sports that I wouldn't on a particular night just for fun try something else to see, see if it, to see if it really popped, if you will. I like it. It looks good.
I don't see why we wouldn't do it. We've already, had the reverse helmet with the garnet mat that doesn't even go all the way down to the base of the helmet,
was terrible.
which is ridiculous.
They should have never done that.
But if you're going to have that helmet, then you better have the white helmet because the white helmet's better.
Yes. So
plain and simple.
His point kind of was, and as have been others, that the traditional powers that be, that you look around college football and they wouldn't change their. And somebody here by the name of Jonathan pointed out, sent a picture over here. Alabama has worn white helmets. And he's got the picture to prove it here. I mean, you can do it. You can just give it a go.
Ohio State wears weird stuff. That's kind of a tongue twister every couple of years. I mean, Michigan State's got one of the most classic looks in the world, and they try to bastardize that every 6 months.
Now they
never land a good one.
By the way, it's just it's so funny when you reacclimate yourself to the start of college football. You remind yourself all the time about how tied in we all are to the big picture. I mean, we have our team. Everybody went to school somewhere. We got it, and for us, we're Noles. But we love college football, and we love the traditions, not all traditions, but we like the differences at each university, whether it's the architecture and the layout, the fields, the fan base, their traditions, the things they do to tailgate, whatever it might be, right? And usually we're fairly familiarized with their history, too. I mean, if you really love the game, that at one point, Syracuse was an actual good football program. It's been some time now, but there was a time when they were
outdoors at the time. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they were even good in the Big East.
And, that's right.
Donovan
Late
McNabb.
90s. Yeah.
Marvin, one-time Harrison.
Not two-time.
Not two-time. Marvin, one-time Harrison.
That's right.
Yeah. No, they had some dudes. And so anyhow, these pasts, these histories, and when they were good, how long it's been since they were, all of that. When the uniform changes occurred and all of that as well. And I was, today going through all of this again and reminding myself of the things that I love and don't love about certain traditions in college football. And I was kind of thinking again and again about how one of these days, you and we are going to do this.
We're going to get the garnet right.
Well, that is going to happen.
Okay.
I know that is
one of these days.
That is an inexhaustible argument. You will bring that up once a week.
I will. Well, but we've had all kinds of different garnets, though. We've had red, like Maryland,
straight up red.
We've had Mississippi
Just
State,
like
whatever that is.
Mustard yellow.
The 70s uniforms. I've seen the photos of. It's like the Mississippi State color.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've had this color that we're wearing, this purplish thing.
Yes.
That we also wore in the 80s. If you look at Bobby's pullovers in the 80s, it's kind of this hue of garnet.
Yeah.
But the right answer was 2012, 2013. We all know this.
Well, they were gorgeous. They were gorgeous.
What else are we going to do? I guess you weren't talking about the Garnet.
Army, Navy, man.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yes.
We say it every year. When are we going to Army, Navy? We've got to get our ass out there. And then for some odd reason, and this is the second part of what I came to realize, besides that we keep saying we're going to go to Army, Navy, and that we don't, I realized that you have your number one team, and then usually there is somebody that you have a real affinity for. It could be that other family members went there. For me, people who've listened to this show for a long time know I have many family members that went to OU. And so Oklahoma is my second team. I root for Oklahoma to do well. Now, obviously, when we've played Oklahoma, that isn't the case. I've rooted for Florida State, but I want Oklahoma to win the Big 12 every year, and I want Oklahoma. If we can't win it all, I root for Oklahoma. And then there's that group for no reason whatsoever. You don't know anybody that went there. You have no real reason why you do, but you just do like this team. And that's a group of like 10. There's like 10 to 15 teams that you just like and you don't know why. For me, for example, I've always just liked Wyoming.
Yep.
I don't know why. I do. I want Wyoming to play well. If I'm flipping around and, all games being equal and that I don't have a care in the world about any of them or I don't have money on any of them, if Wyoming's on, I'm watching.
Colorado State for you as well, right?
I love Colorado State.
Yep.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that town. That's a great city. Yeah, I do. I like Colorado State an awful lot. They're high on my list. We both share our love of Army because of our dads.
Absolutely.
And my granddad.
Yep.
But that's already 3. And then I've always had a soft spot. You have too, I think, for LSU out of the SEC. I like LSU.
Yep.
And I love Washington out of the Pac-12. Love them. I love them. I love their uniforms. I love that stadium. I really like that area of the country. I don't know that I want to live there, but I like to visit it. Washington is my Pac-12 team.
That's a you thing. My brother-in-law that I've known for
You need to jump on board.
30 years is a USC guy. Now, they haven't been anything in a long time.
Screw USC. Yeah.
Yeah,
nothing to like about you.
I like to see him happy. I like to see,
That's fair.
My 3 brothers-in-laws, USC, it's Georgia, and it's Florida. So I can like 2 of those teams.
I
can't
like
the third.
Georgia in the East. I'm fine with Georgia.
Enemy of my enemy. As long as they cool off in Valdosta a little bit. But they won't.
Yeah, I don't care anything about Georgia all that much. I don't dislike them at all. I root for them to win the East, but I'm not passionately involved in rooting for Georgia. But I now have family members, one that goes to Georgia and one that goes to Georgia Tech.
So have you attached to Virginia for your nephew who went to law school there? Or is law school like not enough? You have to go to undergrad for you to give a damn.
Undergrad is where, well, whatever, UVA's whatever. I love Charlottesville.
The blinding beauty
of Charlottesville.
The JBJ Arena.
Do we, on a Redemption Thursday, the first of the year, introduce it?
Oh.
Do we, either one of us, even know who the hell Virginia opens with?
Oh, William and Mary would be my guess. if they're scheduling smart, that's
fine institution.
Or the
indeed.
Richmond Spiders, but that'd be dangerous. You don't want to take on Richmond in week 1.
Love those helmets. Really quickly, let's see if it's worthy of our time-honored tradition. Welcome in the 93.3 audience and have them learn of this magnificence. Where the hell are you, Virginia?
Is it really? Matthew's telling me it is William and Mary.
I think you knew that because I think it always is. You may have not realized that you know that just to know it.
The clairvoyance is here, man.
There it is. It is William and Mary.
There it is.
At beautiful Scott Stadium in Charlottesville, Virginia.
Scott Memorial?
No. The Scott Stadium. 7:30 p.m. William and Mary rides into town to take on Virginia, where their fans will indeed say, "Here comes Virginia." Pretty good.
That's not bad.
Pretty good.
I had the nasal handicap too, so that's pretty good.
Not bad right off the bat.
I'd say it's a solid B+.
That was one of the first. That is the first. We have christened the airwaves at 93.3 with Here Comes Virginia.
I think B+.
Oh my goodness. You made me go to William and Mary, the website, just to check on how they're doing.
That's actually the college website, right? That sounds like it could be shaky.
William and Mary.
WilliamandMary.com.
They're like, whoa, what's going on here? That's a camera. It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
The Gadsden County Sheriff's Office says 2 employees from Trulieve and Midway have been taken into custody for taking over 10,000 grams of medical marijuana, valued at over $135,000. Marquis Brown and Sammy Carter were seen taking the medical marijuana. Authorities say 7,500 grams were recovered in Gadsden County and the other 2,500 grams were recovered in Leon County. Authorities say all the stolen marijuana was recovered and returned to Trulieve. Florida A&M University announced Wednesday it has selected Myra Lowe as the new dean for the School of Journalism and Graphic Communication. Lowe will take over the position on October 22nd. Lowe is a veteran journalist and editor. Since 2019, she was the assistant dean for the student experiences at the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications. The CJC Innovation News Center, which Lowe directed starting in 2017, is one of the largest student-powered newsrooms in the country. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at macklemoresystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times this afternoon with a chance for scattered thunderstorms. High of 92, winds out of the east, 8 to 15 miles per hour. Chance for scattered thunderstorms again tonight, lows around 74, partly cloudy skies. Mainly cloudy skies tomorrow. Scattered thunderstorms likely, highs level off around 90. This report is brought to you by The Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 90.
See Nice Tire and Auto Service at 4792 Bluntstown Highway today. The ASE trained technicians at Nice take the guesswork out of fixing your car. That's why wherever you see the Goodyear sign, you'll find what you want in tires and service. From preventative maintenance to a major overhaul and everything in between, you name it. Plus, Nice's services are backed by a nationwide limited warranty. Stop by Nice Tire and Auto Service. 4792 Bluntstown Highway, just west of Capitol Circle.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
You know the terms.
Yeah, it's an empty cart from back in the day. There was an ugly push in baseball last night between the Padres and the Dodgers. Bless your heart if you had that game as a win, and then it ended up being a push for you. That's a tough one. But it was the longest game of the pandemic because it took 5 hours and 49 minutes to play.
They went to the 16th
inning
with a runner on second each half inning. That's really hard to do.
AJ Pollock hit a 2-run homer, and the Dodgers beat the struggling San Diego Padres. Tough times. Greg Tisch, I feel for you, buddy. Hang in there. It's tough to watch a team who had those kinds of expectations be on the precipice of meeting none of their goals. Was that cruel? I didn't mean that to be cruel. I'm just saying.
He had actually said in the hallways that if he ever mentions them to you, they lose. And he made the mistake of doing so about 3 weeks ago.
It is kind of true. I mean, it is weird. That goes back a ways. I don't know why, but it's true. Like, anytime he mentions them to me, it's like the baseball gods are like, what are you doing?
Struggling.
It is. I actually really like that Padres team. I like their uniforms. I like a lot of their players. I was rooting for this to be a year that they were able to do something. But I don't know, man.
The fly in the ointment for everybody in the National League is San Francisco. Out of nowhere, they just
continues to be.
Oh my goodness, they keep winning, and I guess at some point you just got to assume that they're going to keep on winning.
So for Florida State over the weekend, for those that want to know, it's going to be another mock game, but I don't think they're going at it as hard and as like a normal scrimmage. I don't think that's going to be as physical.
Then they should say it's a mockery, not a mock game.
Well, you don't need to get out there playing a game right this close to the real game. I mean, I would think that they're going to put them in situations. They are going to mock it up a little bit here, but I don't want it. They don't need to be going crazy.
You mock it up.
You mock it up. Mock it up. Get it together. But I do think that they have tried to put them in as many situations that they'll see in a game as possible. And then from there, it's going to be about those adjustments and how you handle the adversity that is sure to come. And I don't know how many times we're going to repeat it, but I just continue to wonder about that more than any other element. Yes, I'll talk about the linebackers and how we're lacking in some areas there, and that's why we continue to see them work some other people in that position, including safeties. And I'll talk about how quickly can this receiving core grow up and be an integral part of what we're doing from a consistency standpoint. I mean, I think there's guys there that will make plays. Can they be consistently counted on? And then, all of the things that we've wondered about since the last second ticked off the clock of the last game last year, which is, again, we've wondered who the starting quarterback was going to be. I don't know the answer to that definitively. It appears to me more and more, just reading the tea leaves. I have no official information but it seems to me more and more like it's probably going to be Jordan Travis getting the majority of the snaps for this game. So we'll see what happens throughout the course of the year.
So let me ask you this question, because if you're trying to put somebody in a position to succeed and you're thinking about the macro rather than the micro of the Notre Dame game, but the whole season, if you put Jordan Travis out there first and he struggles, the calls for Mackenzie Milton will be deafening within 2 drives, right? Like if he struggles for 2 consecutive drives. But if you put Mackenzie out there and Jordan takes the job, isn't that a little bit better if you're talking about the big picture of how something is presented? Wouldn't you rather fail with Mackenzie first? Does that even come into play? I mean, that's a tough deal, because if you've got the bona fides of Mackenzie and you're Jordan Travis going out there and things don't go so hot, damn, man, that is a tide of second guessing that'll come your way from fans, media, and everybody.
We are in a position not to really be able to answer the question that most people want to know, because, again, between load management and, we're not, I don't know that I'm speculating, but, it doesn't take a Mensa to read the post-round comments of Coach Norvell and or to see who completed what to whom. I mean, these things are charted and monitored by people at varying websites that cover practice every day.
Most notably, Warchant.com.
Well, yes, but what I'm saying is, like, if you're in the position of a fan and you're wondering that question, I mean, you by now have begun to assume that there have been a lot of days missed, whether that is by design or not. Okay, let's just assume it's by design, to be fair. There have been a lot of days missed by Mackenzie Milton. And again, that's not like revealing secrets. That's just the reality. You can read those practice reports and you don't see his name mentioned as having completed a pass or done this or that, right? So you can assume at that point that, okay, just load management, or he's overcoming something that's nagging. I don't know. That is me speculating. I don't know that. So, either way, if he's not getting the kind of reps that starters normally get, I just would wonder, is he even ready to play?
I think the answer on that would be, and this is putting words in Norvell's mouth, so I got to be careful, but if you want to answer that and you're going to play him, the answer would be, I know what he is. As long as he's ready to go and he's, fit to play against Notre Dame, I know what he's done.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that's not possible. I want to make that abundantly clear. By the way, let's just say they say, look, we know you know the offense. We want to make sure you're 100% ready to go. So let's get to where, all right, you know what? We're not going to push this thing. Let's, whatever it is, whatever's nagging you. And again, I'm speculating on that. I don't know if that's the reason. Load management, whatever it might be. you only need to make this many throws. Maybe you only need this many reps by the time the game comes around.
The thing I'd say is if he was limited for Notre Dame, and it might not be the case, it could be that this plan is there's a ramp-up plan ready to go for next week and install, and then it crescendos with Sunday, September the 5th, he's ready to go against Notre Dame. But if he was limited, in a way, it would almost take pressure off of Jordan Travis to declare that before the game starts. Because then people aren't looking over Jordan's shoulder. Teammates, people in the stands at Doak Campbell, the 78,000 plus that are in attendance, they're not looking over his shoulder. If he's limited, you almost want people to know that because, well, listen, man, that's why we're going with the offense we're going with. That's why the snap count is distributed the way the snap count is distributed. The answer also could be in a week's time, well, Jordan's just won the job outright, so what do you want from me? He's the better player. But, I mean, that's a really tough juggling act when McKenzie has the track record that he does. He was healthy for those years, but it's a track record that's pretty impressive.
I just really hope that, McKenzie's able to play. Obviously, a guy that's worked as hard as he has to overcome what he's overcome, you're going to root for. And then in addition to that, we could use his passing ability, especially because he's played big in big moments and big games. So, he has that in him. So we're rooting for him to be able to play because it makes Florida State better. But I would also say that I just hope Jordan Travis doesn't worry about that. I mean, maybe it's impossible, but I'd like him just to not worry about it. I mean, he seems to have gone about his business in a way that earns him an opportunity to get a lot of playing time. And at the end of last year, we weren't so sure. Or actually, how about this? At the time that we learned Mackenzie Milton was transferring to Florida State, we kind of thought, well, it may be one more year before Jordan Travis gets his chance. And that turns out that he just put in the work and got better as a passer. And that's to his credit. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV.
Summertime is color time. This summer, why not spend your time off with a home improvement project? You can use this time to try one of the most popular DIY projects, painting. And you can find your favorite color with one of America's most popular paints, Benjamin Moore. Shop for all the best paint colors and paint supplies at Epps Decorating Center with 2 convenient locations in town. Find out more online at epsdecorating.com.
Hey guys, it's Greg Tish. It's summertime, it's grilling time. But with a grill that just won't light, you're just going to end up with the summertime blues. Yeah, blues and barbecue go hand in hand, but if you get a custom outdoor kitchen built from Hearth and Patio, you'll feel like a rock star every time those flames kick on. They also sell a full line of incredible high-end grills like Fire Magic, Blaze, and Broil Master, all designed to deliver the ultimate in beauty, performance, and durability. Everything you need to elevate your grilling experience can be found at Hearth and Patio. In fact, anything related to fire can be found at Hearth and Patio. Fire pits, gas lighting, indoor and outdoor fireplaces, wood stoves, and even custom-built pizza ovens. Go see for yourself. Check out their services and products online at hearthpatiotallahassee.com. That's hearthpatiotallahassee.com. Or give them a call, 850-727-4282. That's 850-727-4282. At Hearth and Patio, they keep the home fires burning.
If you're an attorney who struggles with the balance of managing your practice and practicing law, consider Lexicon as your #1 pick. From client intake to billing and all that comes in between, Lexicon doesn't miss a thing. Our comprehensive solution combines best-in-class software and services to take care of your firm's most critical challenges, automating many of the tasks that take time out of your day. It's all about giving you more of your billable hours back. And who doesn't love more revenue? No more searching for practice management that works. Lexicon marks the spot. Visit lexiconservices.com to learn what Lexicon can do for you.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it'd be too difficult or take too much time? Then try Babbel. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel teaches you conversations that you will actually use. With 14 languages and lesson topics like travel, business, relationships, and more, you'll learn what matters most to you. Babbel. Language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com.
If you weren't the owner of Gordo's and all those wonderful restaurants, Eddie, what would you be doing?
I think I'd want to be I don't know what I'd want to be, a boat captain or a cowboy.
You know how to use a lasso?
No.
You'd have to do that if you were a cowboy.
Yeah, but I've never even been on a horse. It's not my place to be on a horse.
I agree. And the horse thanks you. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
Surrounding Florida State Notre Dame, I do believe. College Sportsbook will be releasing the breakdown of Florida State Notre Dame this evening. You can find that on YouTube. Ira Chaffel is on that one. I am not, but Ira is, and you get a chance to get a little preview of Florida State Notre Dame.
College Sportsbook, man. I already subscribed. I think I was one of your first 3 or 4 subscribers because I need that info. You're not always forthcoming on phone conversations, so I've got to find it from the videos.
Also, I'm silly because I get busy doing things and I forget about the things that I'm doing. That doesn't make me a very good hype man. I'll forget to follow my own stuff. I really am awful about it. I've got to get better about it.
You got to like your own videos. Mash the like, hit subscribe, hit the bell.
I'm not
every time you go live.
Oh, man.
You should do that for Warchant TV, though, for real folks.
You should, absolutely. Really quickly, let's get to it. It's time for Probables, brought to you by North Florida Payroll Services, locally owned for nearly 15 years, offering payroll and HR services, including full online applicant onboarding and integration into payroll. Save your company money and headaches today. Head to northfloridapayroll.com.
It's time for, how you say, with the pitching, probables?
How about the Orioles getting off the schneid? They're getting a win last night. Good on you, kids. They're in the 5th inning right now and actually winning again. Oh. What is going on? I'll tell you why I'm shocked by this. Keegan Aiken's sorry ass is winning. He of the 0-8 with a 7.47 Aiken family. Oh, my.
More like Aikman.
Jaime Barea is pitching for the Angels. Keegan Aiken for the Orioles. Reds, Brewers are playing currently. Cincinnati leads at 1-0 in the first. That's Sonny Gray and Brett Anderson. White Sox, Blue Jays, Carlos Rodon, Hyun Ryu. Going for the Blue Jays, Cardinals, and Pirates. Miles Nicholas.
Yes.
Mitch Keller going for the Pirates. He's been terrible. D-backs, Phillies, Zach Gallen, Zach Eflin, Zach. Giants, Mets, Alex Wood, Carlos Carrasco.
Do any of the Zachs in the previous game spell their name with an H?
Yes.
Both?
No.
Okay.
Eflin. Hey, your boy was pissed when your manager came out to take him out last night.
We're pissed in general.
But he was angry because he was pitching well, and he was very angry. Just thought you should know. Showed up the manager. Rangers, Indians, Jordan Lyles.
Our opponents do every night.
Sam Hinches pitches for the Indians. Twins, Red Sox, John Grant, Chris Sale. Chris Sale has come back and looked really good. Nats, Marlins, Patrick Corbin, Alicia Hernandez. Dodgers, Padres, Max Scherzer, Yu Darvish. Yankees, Athletics, Jameson Taillon. Of course, he's had a good year. James Krapilin goes for the A's, and the Royals and the Mariners face off. Brad Keller and Yusei Kikuchi. That's a look at those that showers out of the bub. So I like that this sort of Bush League house band that made this generic riff for us to be able to use and not get our YouTube feed docked. You know, they walked in and the producer went, I want you to summon Steely Dan. Little Steely Dan here. Got you. I got you. I've always wanted to do this.
That's it, boys.
That's it,
you got it. He's 350 with a ponytail.
Keep it going. Oh, that was good. That's good. That was fun.
He's the guy who used to get mad at Christine Lisi and Bob Percosi. Bob! You're killing me, Bob!
Oh, my God. That's so good.
The rose-colored glasses.
Oh, that is good. That is good. Good work out of you, Matthew. Good work out of you, Tom. Thanks to all of you for listening and or watching. We do appreciate it. Be well. Have a wonderful night. I'm off to Pensacola with Corey Clark. Should be a fun time talking to the Seminole Club there. You guys take care. We'll talk to you tomorrow on Libations Friday.